Okay, what's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the TMossBoss Show. In today's episode, I will be talking on the passing of XXXTENTACION. In about 18 minutes, it will be the going on 3 years of his passing. I really don't consider it like an anniversary or a celebration of life or any of that. I mean, maybe his birthday will be considered a celebration of life, but other than that, like, I don't really, June 18th is a day I don't really like thinking too much on because it was a very emotional day for me. Like, it's a day I think I'll never forget, as long as I'm a fan of X. It's one of those things where I think it's gonna be like that for everybody that knew this man and everybody that was a fan of this man. Like, you're going to remember this day. This is gonna be a day that sticks out. So yeah, I'm because I honestly I can tell you guys right now, I remember that year, June 18th, 2018. I remember that, like, that time frame from the day he passed up until like that 1 year, of his passing and stuff. I remember like everything's as if it had just happened. Because that, to me, that was a very, crazy and depressing year from June 18th, 2018 to June 18th, 2019, because, man, like, somebody that I didn't even know, like an art, like, I know, like, how when fans of an artist, when like that artist passes away, like Tupac, Biggie, Michael Jackson, Easy E, like, there's like so many different names to like really name off. Amy Winehouse, freaking Juice World, like all these. I mean, I know Juice World passed away after, but it's like I know how it feels when you're a fan of somebody and they pass. Like, and that's the thing. I'm like, there's been numerous people that I've been a fan of where they've passed, and I'm like, dang, like, that sucks. That's, so I remember when Michael Jackson, the day he passed, and I remember like sometime after, I think it was the next day, I was like, man, this is like so depressing. Like, why is it so depressing? And it's crazy, like, how you don't even know a person, you've never met that person, yet they have that effect on you. So yeah, I remember June 18th, 2018, like it was, like it was just like yesterday, or as if it, like, if it is like today and stuff. But anyways, so yeah, to speak on that day, like, what happened that day? Where was I at? What was I doing? When I found out the news, what did I do afterwards? How did it affect me? I'm gonna be pretty much talking on all of that. And I think I did do some videos and some episodes before talking on XXXTentacion's passing, but yeah, I wanted to overall, for today, I'm gonna make sure of it though that it's like this ain't the only thing that I do tonight, because I'm like, and I know by the time this episode comes out, it's gonna be long after June 18th and stuff. So anyways, I'm like not too eager to get this episode out. Overall, just wanted to talk on it, and I guess like give advice out there to people. It's like, if you're dealing with like a death, whether it's family related or somebody that you that you idolize or that you're a fan of, like, I will be trying to give off some sort of advice throughout this episode, other than kind of like telling y'all a story and stuff. And I guess like the first bit of advice that I can tell you, and I feel like it's just the basics of it, is to definitely stay strong. Don't let this be a situation where it destroys you and stuff. So definitely, without doubt, stay strong. And the pain of it won't last forever, so just always know that. But so anyways, what happened? What was going on that day? So I remember that morning I was listening to X. Here's the thing. I remember like around that time, and still till this day, like, I will find like a X or a Ski Mask song to listen to. But I think I was listening to Take a Step Back that morning, or I might have been. Yeah, I think I was. I think I was listening to some music of his that morning, and then and I didn't think anything of it. I didn't think like, okay, like in 24 hours it's gonna just feel so different listening to his music and stuff. So anyways, So that day, I remember that morning listening to his music. It was just a regular work day, didn't think too much of it and stuff. It was actually a good day that day. I remember I was leaving work, laughing, cracking jokes, and all of that. So I walked to the bus stop and I'm waiting for my bus. At times, like, I will miss my bus. Like, that was like the one thing that I really do not miss about working in Seattle. When you're walking to your bus stop and you see your bus doing 190 miles per hour away from the bus stop, bruh. I hated that so much with the passion, all right? I don't think I seen my bus that day, but I remember walking to the bus stop and I knew I was gonna be there for a while because like I knew like when I leave at certain times I'm like, okay, the bus had already passed by, so overall I'm just gonna have to sit here and wait for a moment. So anyways, I'm standing there listening to my music and stuff, and for some reason I just had this feeling of checking social media. Like the funny thing about it is like any other day that week or any other day, like, just working out there in Seattle, because I had already been working out there for like 2 years now. So any other day, like, it was very rare when I would check like social media and all of that. For the most part, I'm just trying to find music to listen to. So I wasn't, really into checking social media and all of that stuff. But anyways, so I go and I'm like, I'm overall like had that feeling. I'm like, huh, that's weird. I ain't go. Guess I'll check social media. So I think first app I opened up was Instagram. And then that's when the first post I seen, because Instagram, their like thing is all messed up. You'll see like a post from like 10 hours ago, and then the next post will be from an hour ago. Then you followed somebody, then you're seeing the post from 5 days ago, and it just doesn't add up and things. So I hate that. I wish they would fix it. But so, anyways, first post I see is Ski Mask, the Slump God. Pretty sure everybody knows who he is, but for those that don't, Ski Mask, the Slump God, is XXXTentacion's friend. But first post I seen was of him, the post that he made when X had passed away, and he was like saying how much he loves him, and I think he was like he ended it off by saying like "Jase forever" or something like that. So I didn't think anything of it. I just thought like, because I know prior before that they did get into it, but I know that they did that show for was it Rolling Loud? I think it was, yeah, Rolling Loud, and they did that show, so they were cool with each other and stuff. So I remember that did bring like a genuine smile to my face, because I was like, I was happy to see like hearing that they were beefing and stuff, and then kind of like knowing of their past. Now I'm like, man, it's really messed up that that it led down to that, but it's cool though that they like became cool with each other and things. So anyways, so I seen that post. I seen Ski Master's post. Didn't think anything of it. And I can't remember what the next post I seen, but that's when the news had came to me, and I think it was either World Star or TMZ that posted that X had got shot. And it really like just looked like my emotion, like overall, like that day, like, just like feeling like happy, that immediate shutdown of your happiness. Cause like now at this point, like what's going on? Like I don't even know. Like I think the last time I was shocked like that, by a death, was when it was a friend of mine that I went to school with, where it was like people was posting on social media that he had passed away. And it was because it like he died due to gun violence too. The friend I went to school with, and it was crazy because this friend, like, I've invited him over to my house. Like me and him, we were over here having like full on wrestling matches like in our backyard and stuff. By the way, shout out to my like the bro in the sky, Devare. That was his name, my friend that I went to school with. I had to say, me and bro, we had some of the best wrestling matches in my backyard. Bro, this dude was doing backflips. He was, man, I was putting him in freaking John Cena's wrestling move. We were having, bro, you would have thought that it was the most ghettoest WrestleMania match ever, but that's still like, something that you think of and things. And so I remember when like people was posting like rest in peace Devare and stuff, and how I was like, no, this can't be real. This cannot be real, because like I grew up with him. Like I had just seen him not too long ago. I remember I seen him in Safeway, and he was telling me how I think he said he was gonna enlist in the Marines, I believe, because he was like heavily into like becoming a cop and in Marines and all of that. So I remember that was like the one thing that he told me before he passed, and I think I seen him maybe like a month prior before his passing, and then all of a sudden like New Year's Eve, you just hear that he passed, and so yeah, it was, and it's crazy because I'm like New Year's Eve is like that's my holiday. I love New Year's Eve. But like now it's like every time New Year's Eve like starts, like I always think of him because I'm like, man, it's just it's overall it's crazy. It's very crazy to deal with some stuff like that. But anyways, so that was like the last time I had like felt that pain, somebody passing and things. And I just, I remember like I think I had seen the post where they say he got shot, or it was either the post where they said that he died. But regardless, I seen those posts. Immediate shutdown of happiness, immediate shutdown. And then of course, like I'm pretty sure everybody has seen the videos and stuff of people, recording him when he passed, and seeing that, and then that being traumatizing, because that was stuff where I'm like, still to this day, I hate seeing it. I hate seeing it. And it's like, you look up his name, and then you're kind of like scrolling around to see like any updates on music or any updates on the guys that killed them and stuff. See if they're all right, what's going on with them, or let's see if the new music of his is coming out. But regardless, there's been times like where I've like seen like photos or videos of him like in his car, and like that stuff still to this day is like traumatizing. It's stuff that I really don't like seeing, because you see somebody full of life, like, and then that's another thing where it's like I remember going to my grandfather when my grandfather, he passed away in 2016, and I remember going to his funeral. And I like my whole life I've seen this man like full of life. Just always full of life, always laughing, smiling. Like that's one thing that I remember of my grandfather. But it was like the last time I seen him in his casket and things, and it was like it was just a weird, just sight and things to see somebody like that. So that's how I felt. Like I honestly, I felt like all of the deaths that I've dealt with, it was like I experienced that all like with X. So it was, to me, it was just a really just like, that was probably without doubt one of the craziest days ever. Like of my, like, one of the, I had to say, and I had to say, like, after that I felt like very numb to like deaths and things, because there was other friends that had passed away. There was a cousin of mine that passed, and then other rappers, and I'm pretty sure everybody remembers like a few months later, Mac Miller had passed away. I felt numb to that. Then a year later, Juice WRLD passes away, and I felt numb to that. And then all of that stuff just kind of like hit me afterwards and things. And it wasn't like an immediate hit. It hit me afterwards. And so I remember a customer, that was like one of the things I do remember, was like after I seen all of that, and I kind of just, I think I had just looked up and was like, what did I just read? Like, what is going on right now? Like you're shocked at that point. You don't know what to do. And I remember I seen this customer, this dude, he's always like chilled with me and stuff. And I remember he came up and he was just overall, wanting to talk. And I was like, I was just so like disoriented from what I had just read. Like I couldn't barely even talk to the guy. I was like, man, like, there's this, because I didn't know whether or not he knew who he was. So I was like, man, there's this artist that I listened to and stuff, and they just announced that he died, and I'm like, oh my god, like, like you don't really expect to, say it out loud or to even read it or anything else. And so I remember, then I remember my bus head came, and usually I'm like passed out asleep on the bus. Didn't sleep at all. Did not sleep at all when I was on the bus. And it was like one of the craziest things. And I remember, I think I do remember, I almost like just broke down in tears and started crying. And I was like, man, like, this is something I wasn't really expecting. I was not expecting to see that. And so I'm trying to think, I can't remember exactly when, but at some point in time, I remember I had text Priscilla from Four Souls to just overall, like, like, because my thing is, like, at that point now, like, when you hear, like, a death, like, that catastrophic and that, then it kind of has you, like, thinking of your own life. And I really, that's the thing, like, the next day is never promised and stuff. So I definitely, I think I sent her a text message, just letting her know, like, how much I care for her and stuff, and how much I appreciate her as a friend, because it's, like I said, next day ain't promised. And at least like, you know, if something were to happen to me, I would want to like end it off on that, where it's like I'm letting her know that even in my last few minutes, like, hey yo, like I am thinking about you, like I do care for you and stuff. So I do remember I texted her. I got home. Or no, that's then I remember that was another thing. There's this like I don't know if I couldn't really tell like how old that person was. But anyways, there's this like guy that lived like right next door to me, and we both caught the same bus to like go to our house. And I remember he was like walking like awfully close to me, so I kind of just like turned around and just, you know, looked at him like, did you hear about X? And he was all like, yup, heard about him. And so I was like, hey yo, like this is a big thing, like this is serious and stuff. So I remember I got home, and you know, I kind of was just like, you know, still like reacting to it. But I remember I did make a video, and I think that video is still up to this day, where I was talking on it and stuff. And overall, because I knew that there was like people, I remember I posted a video of like, it was like a look at me compilation, and it was like people like all these like different memes to X's song Look at Me. And I remember I posted that video, and it was like a few like XXXTENTACION fans had subscribed to my channel. And I remember I did post a video, and it wasn't even to my fans. It was literally to anybody out there that was a fan of XXXTENTACION. And I remember I did say that. I was just like, hey, yo, like, if this death is really getting to you, like, feel free to comment. Feel free to reach out to me and all of that. Like, because you know, we're not alone in this. Like, you know, we're all dealing with this and stuff. So I remember I did make that video. And then I remember my mom, she had came home, and usually I'm like in my room recording videos, but I do remember I went outside to, you know, like, you know, greet her and stuff. And I usually don't do that. You know, she just comes in the house, she like, you know, goes watch TV and stuff. I'm in my room recording videos because I'm like, okay, well, I've been gone the whole day, so I'm like, hadn't really had the chance to record videos and stuff. So I was like, that day was just like really like different and stuff. And so anyways, I think it was just that, like, honestly, just that night, you know, just reading about him, and overall, like, you know, just seeing any like news and updates and stuff that's happened. And yeah, then obviously, you know, like just seeing the videos like over and over and over and over again, like, yeah, it was pretty crazy. So next day, getting ready to, you know, getting up, getting ready for work. Very sluggish. I remember being on the bus. I think that day even I was like, I didn't even sleep that morning when I was on the bus, because it was like, it was hard for it was hard for me to sleep. I don't even know if I slept like even that afternoon, the very next day. I might have, but it probably might have been like briefly or something. But regardless, like, I know I was listening to his music. I remember when I like on the day of June 18th. I remember I was listening to his music like all the way from work from Seattle to where I live at. And then even like that next day of like going to work, I remember like listening to his music from there all the way to, you know, going to work and stuff. And so it was like songs I hadn't even really listened to and things, because I was like, there was like, my thing was like, I didn't mind like any of his like, you know, mellowed out music, kind of like, you know, stuff like Moonlight or Sad, but I was always listening to his hype music. Oh my goodness, bruh, I always was listening to his hype music. So I wasn't even really listening. I remember I was listening to a lot of his like mellowed out music. And then after that, it was just, you know, it was honestly just depression, you know, like dealing with this death and things. And then of course, like, I remember it was like maybe, it was on the 20th. I think that's when they had arrested the one guy, because I remember, I think his mom, ex's mom, she was like out doing like a thing, like, you know, I don't know what, like a vigil or so, I don't freaking know what them words are, bruh. But anyways, they were out like, you know, celebrating the life of X. And I remember, I think there was a video, she like had announced that the one of the guys was arrested. And then the fat one, he was arrested. I really don't care if I come off as being disrespectful to those guys. I know people are like, why you gotta refer to him as the fat one? He is the fat one. And I think he was the next one to get arrested. And I think the two guys that actually committed the robberies, they were arrested afterwards. And so I think that's how it was. I think so. It might have been it might have been like a pattern. Like, I think it was like the one guy, the original guy, I think his like, it was like Diedrich Williams. I don't freaking know. But anyways, they ain't could get no clout out for me. I think that was the one guy's name. But anyways, there was the one guy that got arrested that didn't go up to X's car and rob him. And then I think the next guy to get arrested was one of the shooters. And then it was the fat one. That they might have been the last shit. I don't know. It was either way. All four of them did get arrested. And then when all of this court stuff had started going down, then that's when they showed the security footage. And the security footage is honestly, to me, like, it's like up there with seeing the like the aftermath footage, because you know now you're seeing like what was going on and stuff, and then you see where the guy pulled the gun out and then shot him, and so it's like to see that and things like, you know, that was hard. And I remember being at work and seeing that, and I'm like, man, you know, that's crazy. And I think anybody at that time, like, you know, that knew me, knew like how hard that death had hit me, like from like family to friends, co-workers. Cause I know Jack, the one that's in the band Monitor, I just did like a reaction to their latest album. But I think he probably can, like, I don't know if he might not remember too much of me. But I don't know, I was talking on it almost every single day, so he probably does. But I do remember he was like, he didn't even realize how big of an artist he was. And that's same with me. Like, I didn't realize, I know the day of when X had passed and all of the stuff that was like going on. Like, I remember California, I think it was LA, where they had like this I think that's just celebrating his life or something. Overall, like, you know, there's just a bunch of X fans in LA just terrorizing the streets. Well, all right, maybe not terrorizing the streets, but you know, they were like rioting and things because of his death. Like, people was upset, people was mad, but then you had others that was like mosh pitting, listening to his music and all of that. And yeah, I was like, man, I didn't realize, like, you know, like that he was that big and stuff until he actually had passed. And so it's crazy, you know, and it sucks though that like that happens to artists and stuff, but at the same time, you know, it is good because it is really like, you know, helping out his friends and family and stuff. So, and yeah, then after that, then it was, you know, just more and more depression. Then I remember when they his mom, I think, was the one to announce that X's girlfriend, I believe her name is Genesis. I think that's her name. I don't be paying attention to names. I suck with names. But anyways, had announced that she was pregnant. And so that did bring some comfort to me, because, you know, I'm like, okay, you know, mini X, you know, like X is going to live within that kid. And, you know, he will live on in a way and stuff. So I do think that that was, you know, that was good to, you know, see that that he was gonna have a kid. But it just sucks because, you know, it's like, I know that man would have killed it being a father and stuff. And then he had just started doing YouTube, and I was like, man, it really did suck, you know, that whole situation. It did, because I was like, man, you know, I wasn't really expecting to deal with all of that. So yeah, I just remember that year just being, you know, really depressed, like from June 18, 2018 to June 18, 2019. And then I think I remember, like, after that, like, then I was like, I'm not as depressed, you know, and it doesn't affect me as much. But still, like, it was affecting me. And then I remember Juice WRLD, he passed, and I was like, all these other people was passing, and I was like, man, I had to say probably the next death that hit me hard was Kobe. Like, that was the next death that hit me hard. And so, because I was like, I wasn't expecting to hear that and things. So I was like, kind of I wasn't expecting to hear a lot of those deaths. But, you know, it was like, I had to say, like, the immediate, like, reaction of, like, you know, feeling a way about it. Yeah, definitely Kobe. And then, yeah, you know, it was just overall, it was just a crazy time, man. Like, you know, that around that time and stuff, it was just pretty crazy. But, you know, that's the thing, though. It's like, it feels so good to, you know, to be able to, like, talk on it and not get sad and not feel depressed and things. You know, that's one thing that I can say that I am happy about. It's like, I don't feel sad talking about it, you know? So I'm like, I am happy about that. But yeah, you know, it's still to this day, it's crazy to think it, you know. It's crazy, it's like listening to his music and then just being like, man, you know, he ain't, even when Skins had came out, then Bad Vibes Forever, and I know it was like, it was just weird listening to that music, because it was like, you know, he ain't even here with us, he ain't even here to, like, you know, to release the music and stuff. So I was like, man, it's crazy. And honestly, it is. But, you know, hey, they you know, I have to say, like, you know, everybody that overall had like worked around this man when it came to music, friends, family, everybody. It's like you guys did your thing. You know, everybody that's still to this day keeping his name alive, like y'all is still doing your thing, you know. And it's like I had to say in a way, like he kind of like lives within all of us. I definitely do feel like that, you know, his death and his passing, it gave me like this newfound strength of just being more dedicated and much more of a hard work to, you know, my arts and craft and stuff. So yeah, I definitely would have to thank X, you know, just for everything that he's done, you know, and for giving me music to listen to. Like, I was listening to that man's music religiously. Like, I was listening to his music every single day. It was crazy how many times I was listening to his music. But anyways, yeah, X, he will forever live on. That's going to be a name where I'm like, the day I have kids and they ask me what kind of music was I listening to, I'm going to start up, take a step back, and I'm going to push my kids over. I'm going to stand over them just rapping and take a step back. I'm going to straight up, like, my kids, they're going to be like, hey, yo, I don't know who this X-Man was, but he made my dad, like, super aggressive, okay? My dad was aggressive for no reason, all right? So, but anyways, yeah, rest in peace, X. Always, you know, we going to keep that name alive, like, forever, you know, until, like, all the X fans, until they all pass. And I feel like even after that, like, X fans is still going to keep continuing on. It might not be as big as it is, but there is going to be a point in time where somebody's going to, you know, hear his music probably years and years and years down the road. And, yeah, they're going to be like, hey, yo, who was this X guy? Who is this? Oh, nah. Watch, I'm going to be like 80-something years old. There's going to be like TikTok 12 or something. And then I'm going to be like, hey, yo, y'all don't know nothing about this. I'm like, this was my music back when I was growing up, back when I was in my 20s and stuff. I'm going to be all old and out of shape and things. I'm going to be pointing at photos of me when I was like all 20 and things, all small and skinny. Because I know as soon as I hit like 40, 50 years old, I'm gaining weight. So I'm like, I already know. So I think that's why I'm going to wait and stuff until, for when I gain. Because I already know I'm going to be one of those guys where I'm like 40, 50, then just bloated. Just like honestly look like I had about 2-3 kids and stuff. So, but anyways, I will talk to y'all later. Thank you guys for hearing this episode. No promos and stuff because, you know, because of it being the serious episode. But anyway, see you guys in the next episode and peace.